Hi, and welcome back to People Watching. I'm Joe Navarro. Today I'm going to talk about something that I've encountered many times, and if you have had many jobs, you will encounter also, and that is toxic bosses. I think every one of us will eventually run into one of these individuals, and we know that they are toxic by their behavior, but also by how they make you feel. We often ignore this aspect of it, but we now know there's ample research that many times when we're in the presence of toxic individuals, that our subconscious begins to sense that there are behaviors or things that they do which make us feel unwell. And that can manifest as headaches, stomach ache, acid indigestion, anxiety, tension, or literally not feeling well in the presence of these individuals. Please don't ignore these sentiments. They're not in your head. And I've talked about this in many of my books, including Dangerous Personalities. So how they make you feel as well as their behavior. One of the things that always registers with us, because from a very young age, we know that by 11 months, babies enjoy playing with children that behave with social consciousness. In other words, they both share or they do things that will help you in some way. The minute, even at 11 months, that a baby senses that someone isn't cooperating, that they're being selfish, that they're putting themselves above others, it registers with them very negatively. And we try to distance ourselves from these individuals. Now, obviously, one thing is these subtle behaviors that they may engage in that make us feel bad. At the extreme, I have seen yelling, screaming, throwing of objects, and even pushing and fighting. Fortunately, there's many rules and laws now that deal with that. Obviously, anybody that engages in unethical or illegal activity, you don't want to work for them. And we'll talk about what we can do towards the end. But those are at the extremes. Sometimes toxic individuals are toxic because they require excessive admiration. They will compel you to talk about how great they are or to say nice things about them at a meeting. They may be arrogant or haughty. They may walk around and see themselves as special. They may take credit for the work that you have done. It still baffles me how often this takes place, that there are individuals that are willing to take credit for the work of other people. And that is something that, in my view, is not sustainable. These individuals are toxic if they cannot comprehend that they are taking credit for something that they have not, or even worse, that they cannot see that they didn't do the work and they're incapable of being responsible. The other thing that I've noticed is when individuals have no interest in your life. They never ask about you, they never ask about your family, they take no interest whatsoever in who you are, what things are of interest to you. This indifference towards others can be very caustic over time because most people share something about themselves and others, but to have someone, to work with someone, and they take absolutely no interest in you, or worse, when you have a family situation where maybe you have to go home, maybe someone is sick, or you just want to attend your son's graduation and they're indifferent to that. That is an individual that, in my view, is very toxic. If they're calloused and cold, if they seem indifferent, then these are traits of the toxic person. Individuals that talk more than listen, that's one of the first clues for me that says something's not right here. Bosses that do all the talking, never ask for your opinion, never want you to share. They talk more than they listen. I place in that toxic category. And as I've said, if they don't care about your needs or your wants or your desires, if you express that one day you want to be in this position or that position, are they willing to help you? Are they willing to nurture you? Are they willing to mentor you? If they're not, and that's their right, but if they're not, then that is for me something that rises to toxicity. Why wouldn't you want to help somebody? Why wouldn't you want them to rise? Why wouldn't you want them to be better? If they lie and they manipulate, for me, clear line, toxicity. And there are individuals that lie all the time. Some of them use deception to make themselves feel better. Whatever the reason for the lie, the necessity to lie is one that rises to toxicity, especially if it affects others. And obviously, if they're manipulative, they're very toxic. Individuals who are contemptuous of others, who have no respect for others, who devalue others because of their beliefs, ethnicity, what they represent, and so forth. People like this are inherently toxic when they blame everyone but not themselves. So individuals that never take responsibility but are always blaming others, that rises to the level of what I call toxic. I talked earlier about how these individuals can make you sick. Now, they can make you sick in many ways. And as I said in the book, Dangerous Personalities, physical, mental, emotionally, psychologically, and financially. So ask yourself, how are they impacting on you, your life, and your family? And then ask your question, how long is this tolerable? Can you tolerate these things for another 6 weeks, 6 months, 6 years? You know, will you tolerate this for another 3 years because you know you can retire? I know somebody that is in that exact situation. They work for one of the most vile people I've ever heard of, but they're willing to tolerate it until they can retire. That's something that you're going to have to decide. But I've known individuals who have suffered to the point where they have had ulcers, panic attacks, anxiety, unable to sleep, and in one case, we're pretty sure that a stroke was brought on because of this toxic individual. If you really want to explore this topic, please take a look at the checklist in the book, Dangerous Personalities, and ask yourself how many of these behaviors are manifest in how this individual deals with others every day. And then have that serious conversation with yourself and say, how long is this tolerable? Is it sustainable? Should I get myself out of here for my own safety, for my own health, for my own well-being? Remember, you have no social obligation ever to be victimized. So keep that in mind. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you here again. Please subscribe. Thank you.